Hey, it is the Hardy Bros podcast.
Here we are.
So when did we do our last one? Probably back in January, February, I bet.
Been a while.
So Here it is, July 2nd.
Can you believe it?
2024.
Yeah.
Here we are. And you, like I told you earlier, you look like Kid Rock.
Hey, just bringing it.
If
bringing it.
Yeah,
it's summer look.
If the shoe fits, right?
Yeah, right on.
Do you have a favorite Kid Rock song, Deed?
Yeah, I kind of like, what's that one he does about Sweet Home Alabama?
Oh, All
Kinda
Summer
mixed-
Long?
Yeah, All Summer Long.
That's a great song. You know, if I'm not mistaken, and they do call me the rocker because I'm usually not mistaken about music, the money he made, he went ahead and gave a royalty check to Leonard Skinner for Sweet Home Alabama, and then he gave one to Waddy Wachtel, who wrote Werewolves of London with Warren Zevon.
Warren Zevon.
Paid him handsomely.
Right.
And still made money off that song. Now that's how cool
Funny.
Bobby Ritchie
is. I
is.
heard Werewolves of London, Warren Zevon on the radio home from work the other night. And I thought, man, it's a badass tune. Warren Zevon, he was an interesting character.
He was a
wasn't
genius.
Yeah,
a diabolical genius.
Well, he understood the rock business, the government, the system itself was pretty corrupt, and he said that many times in many interviews. They were always dogging him and mad dogging him and bad mouthing him, but he was an incredible songwriter, super talented, and an intelligent man. I enjoyed listening to him whenever he was on TV or radio.
Definitely influenced by Hunter S. Thompson. They were good friends, if I'm not mistaken. And they just had a look on life, like a philosophy on life that was, F the system. Because the system, that's all the system does to us, it F's us. Yeah, Warren was awesome. He's one of my favorites. He's got some songs out there. When you listen to him, man, I tear up. Man, nobody can sing a sad song like Warren Zevon. He's something else. And he's got some rockers, of course. And he was Letterman loved him. He used to go on, and he took over for Paul Schaefer one time. I think Paul was on vacation or maybe recuperating from. He was gone for a week or two, and Warren led the band. And he would play his songs and stuff, cool stuff. If you haven't heard his deep cuts, I highly recommend it. And he also does on The Wind, his last CD that he recorded. It came out. He passed away, and then it came out. Billy Bob Thornton's band. Warren went and recorded "Knocking on Heaven's Door" with Billy Bob Thornton and his band out there in L.A. or wherever Billy Bob lives, and. Boy, it's a great version of "Knocking on Heaven's Door."
Oh, is it? I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I like to hear different versions of certain songs, and that one
is
a lot of people have done, and they've changed a little bit and have done a really nice job with it.
Who did remember in Lethal Weapon? Was it Lethal Weapon 2? Diplomatic immunity. And when Riggs was, I think he was gunning down old Hans or whatever his name was, the evil German guy, and they were all the police officers they killed. It was going through Riggs's head, and they were playing "Knocking on Heaven's Door," or it might have been Murtaugh. No, Riggs got shot, and they were playing "Knocking on Heaven's Door." And old Murtaugh blasted.
Didn't he come down there and he shot him with the 6-shooter? He comes down, he say. Cigarettes. He says, "Oh yeah, you want a cigarette?" He says, "Yeah, get rid of those things; they'll kill you."
Them guys were great, man.
That's funny. I like.
They were playing "Knocking on Heaven's Door," and it might have been Clapton, but it wasn't Bob Dylan. It was kind of a up tempo version of it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I don't
remember for sure. I like Mel Gibson.
I
was watching Payback the other night. That's
Payback's good.
I like that one.
He's in one. Him and Walter Goggins, who's one of my favorite actors, it's called Fat Man, where Mel Gibson is Santa Claus, and some kid puts out a contract hit on Santa Claus, and Walter Goggins is this world-class assassin, goes after him. Man, it's a wild movie, man.
I'll have to check that out.
It's not really, it sounds funny, but it's not a comedy. It's kind of a deep movie, serious movie.
There was... there was a movie out with the guy that played in that was it on Netflix or something or Hulu? About that little town in Indiana.
Hawkins,
thank you.
That's Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. That was the name of it. And then who was the sheriff in that? He played in a movie. He played in one of the Denzel Washington movies. He was the bad cop in that movie. But he happened to be a sheriff in that, and he played in this Santa Claus movie called Violent Night.
Yeah, Violent Night.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, Scott! It's absolutely gruesome, but it's a pretty good movie. It's got. It's got the gal from Chevy Chase vacation movies.
Beverly D'Angelo. Yeah.
And she plays the matriarch, the mother of this wealthy family, and these guys come and they want to kidnap her. And her son, he was trying to leave, and he stole all the money out of the house, but nobody knew it. And he left his mom a note, but she wasn't supposed to get it till Christmas Day. And all these people come and they make them open their Christmas presents early because they're just being psycho, people. And this, the Santa Claus, it's just, I don't want to give any more away.
Well, that's all right. I don't mind spoilers.
I'm telling you, it's a really gruesome, but you'd like it. It's got, also has
David.
Huh?
His name's David. I can't remember his last name. David. It'd probably come to me. I mean, I liked all the seasons.
Who's the auto mechanic that played in
Cooter?
Or the auto not Cooter. The auto body shop in Not Gone in 60 Seconds.
Well, that was a great movie.
No, Leranzama. What's his name? Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
That series of movies he made.
John Wick.
Yeah, and John is it Leranzama? How do you pronounce his last name? He's played in a lot of different movies. He played in that. He was the lead bad guy in the Violent Night. Had a lot of pretty good name actors in it.
Violent Night.
Yeah, you get on tonight and watch it. You'll like it.
Well, I don't have time to watch anything unless it's like I should this week, but I got 2 shows tomorrow and then the 4th of July. Maybe I can watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm planning on. Is Daniel coming up?
Wednesday and Thursday they'll be here.
Tomorrow's Wednesday already.
Yeah, right on.
I'm planning on drinking because I drink 3 times a year: July 4th, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Is that continually or just on those days?
No, through the whole week. I'll start somewhere. Now I always say, "Oh, I'm going to get hammered," and I never do. Never do. Once, if I get hammered, it's here. And that's I don't have to worry about going anywhere. I just stay here, but I'm planning on over at your house drinking.
Watched a good movie, or not a movie, a good podcast on Joe Rogan last night. So you've heard of Terrence Howard, and he's got some pretty interesting ideas.
Did you watch the one with Weinstein and Howard?
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you,
and
that
Howard,
was cool. I listened to that while I was in Chicago. I'm driving through Chicago, around Chicago. Real quick,
Weinstein was good.
Chicago's beautiful, man.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been there in like 5 years, and I'm driving down. I think it was 90, Dan Ryan, whatever expressway that is. That city's gotten huge, bigger than I remember in 5 years ago. I'm like,
that's all the illegal immigrants.
No, I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, just
it's big city.
Building after building, more buildings. I'm like, man, it's gotten bigger in the last 5 years. It's just like it never ends. Like New York, I never been there or seen New York in person, but Chicago.
Ain't missing much.
What a sight.
Yeah,
anyway,
Chicago's pretty nice. But
you were talking about
Weinstein. He just really could have chewed up Terrence Howard one side and the other, but he says
maybe
now Terrence had some good rebuttals, but they were both very respectful towards one another. And Weinstein kept saying he kept saying, look, you found the one anomaly, and yes, they're there. And he would talk about, math I don't understand, cotangent, sine, and this and that. And he'd go through all the little things, and then he said, look, he says, is 1 times 1? Yeah, that's an anomaly. And the square root of 2, yeah, that causes problems, but all the rest of it works. He says there are anomalies. It's not a perfect system, but he said if you're going to put out a theory based on just one anomaly, then all the rest of it's shit. He says you're going to, from me and my colleagues that are, he's MIT's, Harvard, PhD, been doing it for 40 years. He knows his shit, and he goes, when you teach. Or teach, he kept saying, you're teaching. Stop teaching. I know the stuff. To stop, explain your theory instead of, say, oh, this is it. Look, blah, blah. And he goes, because that's where you're going to get the most. They'll just shut off. They won't listen to you.
Right. Good point.
He said, but if you explain to us and show us, he says you're going to get a more receptive to what you're saying, and people look at it, but people won't look at it when you say, well, they've been lying to us for years, look at this.
Yeah.
Because it's not a mystery. Yeah.
Or they've been wrong.
Yeah. Because if you're telling me I'm wrong, I'm going to be defensive, right?
I mean, Keith, they could be wrong. I don't believe that the speed of light is the fastest speed possible. I believe there's things faster than that. Yeah, but can I prove that? I can't.
Right. Well, what's your evidence for that, right? That's the next question.
Well, there's something, if these, UFOs that we're seeing for the last, 100 years, if they can do what we've seen
more than 100 years.
Well, but let's just say.
In our lifetime, right? Yeah. So,
I've seen them do things that defied physics. I have seen it with my own eyes with 2 witnesses, and, so if they, I don't know. I just think, I think we might be wrong. I think our scientists might just not necessarily be wrong, but not.
Well, I think it's just like with say, for example, the pyramids, and say a story starts, this is how it was built, this is what they did. Yeah, it seems to fit, and then all of a sudden, oh, shit, well, it doesn't fit here. So we just sweep it under the rug or we ignore it. I get that happens.
Sure.
We can't explain that, but the rest of it fits. So it's like many things in life. Sometimes there's 2 paths you can go.
Yeah.
There's multiple paths.
Might be more than right.
So there's
more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, right. So there's more than one idea out there. But
that's why we got
when they pick up on the one idea and this is the idea we're going to stick with. We're going to put it in the academics and academia, and this is what we're going to teach. So then anything that comes in and says, well, wait a minute, that doesn't match the whole way through. It's just only partially true, or maybe none of it's true. And then they get demonized. Oh, you're a conspiracy nut. You're a Fruit Loop. You don't know shit. Well, the people that are contesting, the people that are contesting some of the mainstream ideas and theories are educated themselves.
Yeah.
Very intelligent genius. People. Guy's really good. I like him.
He's a genius.
I'm not knocking him, but I think Weinstein swept the floor with him.
Oh, okay. I listened to most of it, and I thought, well, Terrence can hold his own.
No, he did. And they started drinking Buffalo Trace, which I'm like, well, I need a bottle myself.
Terrence said, now we can
have a conversation.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was a classic. I like that. So,
I liked him in Wayward Pines. He was the sheriff in that first season. I thought he was great because he was kind of a jerk, I thought he was pretty cool in that show. And then he was great in Iron Man. I like the guy. When he was on there on Rogan about 2 months ago, he talked about being in the womb and remember seeing his hands and stuff. And
I can relate to that.
That was amazing.
I think that,
I
think
I have no reason to not believe that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. First of all, was that his own memory, or was that a suppressed memory from another life form? Right, another lifetime. Was he reincarnated?
He thinks he was.
Right. So, and for the record, I'm only going to speak for myself, but somebody else I know that's pretty close to us thinks that reincarnation is really probably a possibility.
I don't dispute that.
And I think there's multiple theories on this, but the one that I kind of subscribe to is, so if you don't complete or do what you need to do or want to do, not necessarily want, but need to do in this lifetime, you don't make it. You got to come back and you got to do it again until you get it right. And and maybe it's based on how many wrongs you did, and you didn't have enough time in this lifetime to be forgiven or forgive or whatever. And so you got to come back and do it again. I sort of subscribe to that idea, but I'm not 100% sold on it, but I'm not also closed-minded to say that it doesn't.
That's not the way, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, we're open. As you say, closed-minded, we're open-minded. I call it now I have an open consciousness to hear that. And I have my own theories. We can talk about them later.
But why would you get offended by somebody's thoughts and ideas?
I wouldn't.
I mean, I've heard some outrageous shit, but if you just sit there quietly and you listen, and there's a reasonable explanation. Yeah. What?
One times one is two. I love that.
Now, that is some crazy shit.
Could be real. Could be accurate.
Well, this is a trick of words and not a trick of mathematics, and Weinstein sort of pointed that out.
Yeah, he did say.
So these aren't dollar bills, but $1 times $1 is not $1. Now there's two. Mm-hmm. It's bogus. It's a word trick.
Yeah, but he's not
it's
referring
semantics.
to
that.
He's referring to nature. He says
no. I understand.
Nature.
Nothing times nothing is 0, and nothing times 1 is 1.
2. Right?
It's 2. That's what he's saying. It's 1 times 1 is 2. And I first, I'm glad I saw the Weinstein thing, because it really made me think, okay, now wait a minute.
He might be.
What is this guy saying? He is on to something.
Right.
But academia is fully aware of it and understand that it's an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
See, so what if it's the only exception to the rule? Then everything else fits.
I thought
I mean,
yeah. When I listened to him on the first podcast with Joe, I thought, and I've been watching his YouTube videos before he was on Rogan. He'd been making videos because he's kind of backed off the acting thing. He had a huge show on Fox called Empire.
That's what I understand.
I don't get to watch much anymore, but I know it was a very popular show. But here he's on YouTube talking about all his patents, and I'm like, what? The actor fella?
He did bring that up to Weinstein.
Like,
he's like, I got 97 patents. He goes, Weinstein was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, Tesla had lots of patents, and one of them was a death ray and a weather altering, weapon or whatever.
Well, the weather altering's real, and
his death ray was real.
Well, yeah, that was real too, I think. But the HAARP.
Ask John.
Look what HAARP does.
John, what's his name? Hamilton. Oh, the Hamilton effect. That dude that can levitate the bowling balls and the ice cream, and he had a laser when Jesse Ventura show Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura went to see him. I think he was in Minnesota. I think his name's John Hamilton. Long hair, looks like a rock star. When Jesse got there, Hamilton was torching his ashtray with a laser, just melting right through it. He goes, "Oh, it's a slow burn, Jesse. It'll take a while, but it'll eventually melt the entire thing." And then this is the guy, the Havlicek Hamilton. He got a bunch of equipment from an old Navy vessel, like frequencies, sonars, all this stuff, radars. He's in his garage or something.
So
and he's
he
levitating
had the old tubes
balls
and stuff, like you have in your speaker system, the old speaker systems. Yeah.
And
knob and tube and
he'd take a bowling ball, he'd film it with an old, remember the VHS cameras you could hold up here or whatever.
Yeah.
He'd take a bowling ball and eventually lift it right up, and then he had ice cream that was melted. You could bring it out of the cup and then bring it back down into the cup.
Oh, was he using anti-gravity, or was he using frequency?
Frequency to
distort gravity.
Okay. Yeah, it's called the Hamilton effect. John Hamilton. And Jesse went up there. Of course, this is years ago when he had that really cool conspiracy show on True TV. Jesse went up there.
I like Jesse.
He had
Ventura,
a debt, but he said,
that show
but
was
hold
good.
on. Hamilton said, well, it's also, there's a lot of Hollywood involved, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Hamilton said that What he said something about Star Wars, because Hamilton worked on Ronald Reagan's Star Wars initiative, SDI, the Star Wars Defense Initiative.
There were 2 presidents prior to that, maybe 3 that were
this was Reagan
approached about it, but they all didn't go forward with it. Ronald Reagan did and made the announcement.
Yeah, Hamilton.
People thought he was nuts.
Hamilton said that they have Tesla's death ray is very real. And there's people that think that that's what brought down the Twin Towers was that an energy weapon.
George Bush and his family. Maybe we shouldn't say that on this if we're going to post it, but that whole building was rigged. There's so much evidence to show. I mean, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
That whole building was rigged by the company that, anyway.
Someone went in there and worked on those elevators 2 weeks prior.
Sorry, George Bush, I didn't mean that. I voted for you, dumbass, twice.
Well, you know, hey,
didn't know your family was related to Hitler.
Well, they helped Hitler, right? Prescott
fucking
Bush
A right, they did.
Even Tucker's had a change of heart about how he felt. War. We got to go bomb the hell.
Yeah, we got to. Right. Everybody did. Yeah, but they sold it to us. They sold it to us. We were all gung ho. Yeah, my one buddy at work.
Man, do I regret that?
My one buddy at work. He's probably he's a hardcore Republican. George Bush, the greatest president ever. And his son was of age at that time when they were going to go to war, and his son was going to join Navy, Air Force, Marine, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was against the war because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my son to go to war. Well, hell, I don't want my son to go to war either. But it is what it is, and you. So now I realize, like you and probably 90% of Americans, that Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice, they went. Colin Powell did,
especially,
and he marketed to the United Nations or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, well, they have these traveling.
They
were
mobile
chemical plants
mm-hmm.
and weapons of mass destruction. And they had all this stuff. Somebody made it up,
mm-hmm.
and they put us and they played it.
A dossier,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
They're
all.
They lied.
It's just terrible. And I'm just saying that they'll eat their own. They're ready to throw Biden to the wolves. They know Kamala's a piece of shit. Why in the fuck did you put her in there in the first place? And then, President Trump, God bless him, I always liked him. Before he was president,
Keith
read his
and I
books,
liked him,
knew him
for years.
For years.
When he would have cameos on TV.
Yes,
and
he was hilarious.
Do interviews.
I think he realizes a hard work, dedication, blah blah blah, and he knows he got lucky.
Well, it seems like,
but he didn't. He was persistent, and he had work ethic. And you can say what he wants about his sex life. If there's any man out there that wouldn't hump the most beautiful women in the world when you're single, you're a retard. Pardon the expression.
I do not judge.
I don't believe that you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Not when it's readily available and willing and able.
And maybe some wouldn't. That's to each their own. But I don't judge someone because of it.
I don't judge that's right. Them. I don't care. I didn't do all that. You didn't do all that. But it's but I don't judge him because he was single.
Even if he wasn't, I still wouldn't judge him. I mean, hey, that's his business.
He's on it. Yeah, that's right. That's his business.
Does that affect the way he's going to lead? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And I mean this for anybody. Did it in the 90s when Bill Clinton was the president?
Yeah.
I was pretty happy. Of course, I wasn't an adult.
I think Bill did a fairly decent job, but a lot of Americans lost their jobs to NAFTA. That was a hoax. That was not a hoax. That was a deal.
Lost her job.
And so they had to move those plants to Mexico, this, that, and the other thing. It was a North American Trade Agreement, or what the hell?
The North American Free Trade
Agreement. And it's like, okay, well, we already had free trade with these countries.
Well, now they're all coming up here, so maybe we should have MAFTA, the Mexican American Free
Trade Agreement. Yeah, but I didn't, I didn't care Bill doing whatever, getting a blowjob and whatever. Hey, I bet if he'd have had a cell phone, I bet he would have videoed that shit and would have been even more famous. You know what I'm saying? He would have posted that on his Instagram and said, "Look here, bitches."
She's a good-looking lady, man. I remember seeing the picture of.
She's lucky they didn't slice her throat and throw her in the fucking river, with the fishes, or swim with the fishes, however you say
Linda Tripp had evidence that one woman that John Goodman played on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
Linda Tripp
wait.
had the dress.
I feel it. I feel it. I did not, I got to look away from the camera, have sexual relations with that woman.
Miss Lewinsky. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, I didn't stick it in her vagina, but she did. She did put it in her mouth.
remember
Bill Slick Willie.
He goes,
you remember Ron used to call him Slick Willie.
I didn't ask her to lie in deposition. I asked her to lie in that position. That was on Conan O'Brien.
Oh, shit.
Late night. That was a good one.
And then, Hillary.
Don't bother me.
Hillary was mad because she didn't get a piece of it.
No. She let all that go, and then maybe her and Bill
she
really
knew
love
about
each other.
for shit's sake, sorry. They have killed more people in the state of Arkansas all the way to the White House. Come on.
Remember when Trump brought like those 4 or 5 women?
What about those 2 kids down in Mena?
Yeah, right.
They were doing dope, and they got the one
they
kid
got
shot
run
himself
over by
in the head,
by
and
a
they got
train.
ran over by a train 6 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
come on.
Just like Vince Foster shooting
himself. You ever
with
read
his right
the
hand.
woman that was fighting for those families? She was threatened multiple times. I can't remember her name, and she just kept going after him, and she couldn't get. That's how powerful that whole thing was. Mm-hmm. She couldn't get justice done.
If the
he owned the DA.
If
the DA was in on it.
If the agency's helping you out, you ain't gonna get.
CIA was in on it. That was the big problem. The CIA told Clinton, "Hey, we'll make you famous."
I'm not calling the CIA out. They're a bunch of good dudes.
I love the CIA. Matter of fact, if I had any intelligence at all, they might even call me up and say, "Hey, would you want to?"
I'd like to work. I'd like to be a part of their remote viewing.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to be a part of?
How cool would that
I just want to be the limo driver for CIA. That's all I want to do. Helicopter, limo. It's easy. The boat, maybe. How about this?
A boat?
Let me drive the boat. I'll be the boat driver. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
That'd be
just
cool.
give me a decent stogie, some good whiskey.
We'll sell out.
Hell, Miller High Life. I'll take a cheap beer. I love beer.
We'll
High Life, anyway. Yeah, it'd be great. CIA in the back. We'll cruise. Where you guys want to go? Who we hitting today?
Yeah.
We picking up any aliens? I'm in. I'm down with it. I ain't saying nothing.
I won't say nothing. You
won't
didn't
say
see
nothing.
Me. Is that a Cuban cigar? I didn't
Never
see
saw
crap.
it. Yeah.
We'll sell out for fine liquor and
good cigars.
What? I didn't see nothing. I was drunk.
What? Is that Di Serrano?
D'Amore Amaretto.
Oh, gosh. That's no bueno. Hey, can we have a TV timeout?
Well, it is. We're almost up to 30 minutes.
Well, let's just cut it out. I've got.
We digressed the hell out of this one, but that's okay. It makes for fun.
Hey,
stuff.
folks, this is
all the people with ADHD
entertainment.
Be like,
we didn't mean anything about anybody's name we said.
But if the CIA would like to hire us to drive boats and cars,
and well, we're married, so no, just boats, no boats and hoes. Just saying. I'll throw that out there. Yeah.
They'll still try to tempt
They might try and tempt you and get it recorded. That way they can blackmail you. But why would they blackmail us? We don't know anything.
I didn't
see nothing.
What's the
cigar?
CIA?
Cigar? Hell, that was a turd sickle.
I thought I was eating shit. Thought I was drinking piss and eating the turd.
Shit. It's bullshit.
Well, hey, we're the Hardy Bros.
All right, you two. We're just fucking around. Peace out.
It's 4th of July week.
Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. God bless you.